do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path. And this is interesting too. When you talk to people that went to SEAL training that didn't make it, most of the time it's some reason. There's a medical reason. There's a family problem. There's very few people that look at you and say, oh, I quit because it sucked. Which is what happens to the vast majority of people.
I just started this podcast with a clip from one of my favorite influencers out there, Jocko Willing. Jocko was a decorated Navy SEAL, won a lot of different medals. Now he's got a lot of different businesses, but I love that excerpt and I listen to it all the time. And I think it's going to be the main focus and topic today. And, he talks about, do you actually want to do the thing that you're doing right now? Do you actually want to hit that goal? Like, think about it. Do you really deep down want that goal? Because if you do, there's nothing that's going to get in your way. And the one thing that inspired me to do this today was, I talk to a lot of people. I love golf. I talk to a lot of different people, and I like to talk about golf. And a lot of people just tell me, I'm just not that good at golf. I can't hit it. I can't hit it, very far. I always hit it to the right, and it's not enjoyable for me. I'd really like to play golf. I'm just not that good at it. I always say, yeah, it's a tough sport. It really comes down to practice. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, they just don't really actually want to get good at golf. Like, they don't want to prioritize the time to spend and practice and go out to the range, get lessons and hit balls and hit chips and hit putts. And that's what it comes down to. It's practice, practice, practice. This year, I started the year as a 6 handicap. Now I'm all the way down to a 2. I'll probably get to scratch by the end of the year. And the number one reason is I have just got lessons and I've practiced and practiced and practiced and hit on the range and hit in the garage on mats, and I putt. And when I'm laying in bed at night, I think about my rounds. I think about the shots that I hit. I visualize them. And it's one of those things that I am obsessed with. Now, I don't make any money off of it. Well, sometimes, in money games, but it's something I just really wanted to get good at it. I just got obsessed with it. And it's the same thing in business. A lot of people say, I'm not good at sales, right? Or I'm not good at operations. It's just, you haven't practiced it enough. You haven't gone through the reps. So if you say you're not good at sales, well, do some role play. What are you not good at? Do some role play on your elevator pitch and going out and talking to people and telling people about your company, telling people about what you do. Start with family, friends, loved ones. Start with people that are already in your network, that are already in your phone book. Go out and talk to them and get some practice. Sales is not about selling something. It's about providing a service that is of value. So find out what that value is. And it all comes back to that first step. Identify what you really and actually truly want. It's nice to desire things and to that would be nice, but that would be nice it rarely works. It is always, this is why I want it. And you can go 7 layers deep. And once you figure out what you want, whether it's a new property, whether it's buying a new property, whether it's a new co-hosting property or 5 new co-hosting properties, or hiring someone, figure out what that next step is. And I'll go through a couple examples specifically for short-term rentals. Figure out what that next step is and just take action, right? Practice it. But at the end of the day, do the thing, do that step. A lot of us get shiny object syndrome in the way. And I see this a lot, especially in Facebook groups. There are some repeat offenders where, people with maybe just a couple listings that want to grow big companies, and I know them and I see them, posting about Zapier and asking about how do I zap, the client or the guest contact information into Zapier and then create a video that is using AI and, it goes into my CRM, which is never going to get used. And don't worry about that new shiny object. Don't worry about that new AI. Nothing is going to hack it better than you actually doing the thing. So if you need to hire someone because you don't have enough time to add properties, create that job description today, figure out what they're going to do on a daily basis, and start interviewing people. So create that job description. It'll take you no more than an hour, and start interviewing people. Put your job listing up on Indeed, put it on LinkedIn, put it on your network, Put that job listing out there and start interviewing people. The more people that you interview, the more clarity that you will get on what exactly you need and why exactly you need it as well. If you need to add more properties, if you want to grow your co-hosting business, your property management business, go talk to someone about it. Go talk to a family member, a friend, a random person that you see at the bar. One of my favorite stories is one property that we managed for, one owner. I met him as I was going to pick up Thai food for me and my wife when she was pregnant with our first. I was going to pick up Thai food, and I walked straight up to the bar. There was a guy sitting by himself, and I said, "Hey, can I get my food?" To the bartender. And then I looked over at the guy and he was sitting there, and I looked over. He nodded his head, and I said, "Hey, how's it going? What do you how's your dinner? What are you here for? Have you been here before?" And we just started chit chatting, and he was saying he's in town flipping a property that he just bought. He's from Ohio. He said, "Oh, okay, interesting. I'm in real estate too. Great. Oh, are you a real estate agent?" "No, I'm not a real estate agent. I invest in properties. I manage Airbnbs." He said, "Oh, I'm actually thinking about flipping this property into an Airbnb." And I said, "Well, do you need a manager?" He said, "Absolutely." And so we started managing for him after he flipped the property. It was just a random dude on a random Tuesday at a Thai restaurant picking up food, right? So, one of the other things I like to do whenever I go into towns, new towns that I don't know, or even here, in New Bern, which I pretty much know everybody now, I always ask who the owner is. And is the owner here? What does the owner do for a living? Where do they live? How did they first start this? Did they start as a chef, or, same thing with hotel owners. Where does the hotel owner live? Does the hotel owner ever come here? And I like to meet other owners of other small businesses. Other small business owners like to meet other small business owners because there's not many of us, right? There's things that we can bond over. And a lot of the times, business owners own real estate, right? And they have friends that are business owners as well. It is a small network. So if you're in your hometown, do the same thing. Get out of your comfort zone. Do some role play too. Find somebody that is also wanting to get better at sales, or find a coach that can help, like a sales coach, and do some role play, or find somebody who's added properties and do some role play with them. "Hey, do you mind role playing out my elevator pitch with me? Hey, do you mind role playing out a discovery call with me? Do you mind, role playing out objection handling with me?" And it doesn't have to be long. It can be 5-10 minutes. I do this every single week on my coaching calls with the mastermind. And it gets you practice before you actually play in the game. That's all sports is. That's all golf is just the preparation and the practice that goes in before it. But you can't get better unless you do the thing, unless you practice the thing, and the more you do the thing, the more sales calls you have, the more golf balls you hit, the more tennis balls you hit, the more times, like learning a new language as well. That's another good thing. If you're trying to learn a new language, or maybe you're going to Italy next year, start speaking the language now, practicing the language now, right? You'll get better once you're over there. You're not going to go over there and just magically be good, but you can be dangerous, right? Developing your team is another one too. This is one that I don't think a lot of people do, especially those of you that have, maybe been in this 2, 3, 4 years or even longer. You can read all the books you want about culture and about team leadership, but at the end of the day, if you don't have skip level meetings and you don't have meetings with your team members, at least once a year with every single one of them. Now, if you've got a company of 100 people, that may not be possible, but you can meet with their manager and have them do it too. But figure out what their personal goals are. Figure out what their family life is like. Figure out what they're trying to accomplish. Figure out what's bogging them down. You may find some interesting nuggets in there. And at the end of the day, you're building trust with them. No book about developing your team and developing your culture is going to make your culture better. There's literally no book that is going to make your culture better. The only way that you can make your culture better is by actually applying that information to your team. This is another one. Wanting to sell your business, thinking about selling your business. I know a lot of you are thinking about getting out of property management or thinking about getting out of co-hosting right now. If you are, contact me. We are buying, but put it out there. Put it out there that you're thinking about selling. Put it out there that you're thinking about selling a couple contracts. Like if you're not sure, maybe you got some problem properties as well. Just put it out there. Put it on Facebook. Start talking to people that, hey, I maybe have some contracts that I might want to sell. There may be buyers out there. Reach out to me. If you've got contracts in North Carolina that you're thinking about selling, I am buying. And I know there's other people that would be interested as well. wherever you are. This is another big one. Wanting to buy a property or buy a short-term rental. I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of very, very often people come to me and they just say, I just can't get the numbers to work. I can't get the numbers to work. And then I see them again and I give them some tips and they're just like, I can't get the numbers to work. I can't get the numbers to work. At the end of the day, we don't know exactly the numbers on any property, right? You can run deals day after day and run analysis day after day and property after property and property after, you can walk property after property. But if you don't make an offer on a home for what you think it's worth, you're never going to get the home. You're never going to get the home, right? So make an offer. If it's 200 grand under asking, that's fine. Make the offer. You never know where they may come up to. You never know where you might uncover something. You never know where they might have another property that is for sale, or maybe that's coming for sale soon, right? Make that offer. And then as you do these things, they're going to be outside your comfort zone already, because that's the only time growth happens, is when you get outside your comfort zone. Just have faith, man. Just have faith that it's going to work. And I'm not talking about faith in God. It really is not about what you believe or what religion you have. I'm very faithful and devote everything to our Creator, but it's having faith that it's going to work out, and that next step and getting outside your comfort zone, the only thing it's going to do is create your growth. That's it. That's the only downside, right? If somebody gets mad at you for making an offer, that's totally fine. But the next one you make, now right? Now maybe that's not the person you want to work with, or that's not the person you want to hire, or that's not the person you want running your team, right? Actually doing the thing and then having faith that it's going to work out. What's the worst case that's going to happen here? You're not going to die, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I think, I say a lot of people are going through this, and a lot of people come to me and say stuff like this, but also I think this is a really good reminder for myself as well. At each point of growth, this is a good reminder for everybody. Do the thing. Actually do the thing. Stop thinking about it. Stop worrying about what's going to happen. Stop planning it, and actually do the thing. So I'm going to go do the thing, guys. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.